You're here in this time-space reality, focused in these magnificent bodies, in this magnificent environment, with a very clear intention as you came into your body of being on the leading edge, not the catching up edge, not the proving worthiness edge, not the finally getting it right edge, not the saving planet Earth edge, not the fixing things that are broken edge, the leading edge of new creating. You chose well. A perfect environment with so much basis already established. And you knew you would come into your body, a part of your consciousness, not all of it, not even most of it, some of the consciousness that is you, focused into this personality that you know as you. On the leading edge, in perfect, balanced diversity. Knowing that as you focused here through your personal, importantly personal format, that you would come to your own importantly personal desires. Not desires that were pointed out by others. This is the list of what human is, and these are the requirements. Oh, there are plenty who try to shove those down your throat. But you came knowing that that basis would be good in order to help you come to your personal conclusions, your personal preferences, your personal desires. And you knew, especially early on, that as those desires formulated within you, and they do all day long, all day long, all day long, all day long, every day, that as those personal desires formulate within you, that the energy that creates worlds would back you up in the full fruition of them, the full creation of them, the full manifestation of them, the full see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, leading edginess of your ideas. And you knew then, and we want to remind you now, you knew you would never get it done because you are eternal. And you knew that you cannot get it wrong because you are standing always on your path with guidance flowing to you to assist you in discovering the path of least resistance, although sometimes you choose the path of more resistance. The path of least resistance toward allowing all of you to experience the unfolding of the ideas that you have decided. Now, we emphasized for Esther, and she found perfect terminology for you, that all of you is intending to stand in your now time-space reality in full awareness of where you stand in relationship to all of the things that you want. Not because it's important for you to immediately move right to the full culmination of everything that you want. No. That would be so overwhelming. That would be like eating all of the food for the rest of your life today. You want to explore and decide and come into alignment with. Since you are on the leading edge, and because you are an extension of source energy, this life causes you to identify in tremendous, refined detail aspects that you prefer. And every time you carve one of those out, and you do all day, every day, what happens is you launch a rocket of desire. Another piece of who you have become is added to the mix of who you are. And the vibrational evolution of you happens in that moment. Now, we are emphasizing that the vibrational evolution of you happens because that's happening all the time. You're sifting and sorting through life experiences, and you are becoming more and more and more and more. What this seminar wants to address is how much of that more that you have become and are becoming are you allowing yourself to be? Because you've become more than you are allowing yourself to be, which is evidenced by every particle of negative emotion that you feel. Your emotions indicate how much you are in the receiving mode, how much you are on the path of least resistance, how close to vibrational sync you are with all that you've really become. And that matters because we want you to know this. This is the thing we want you to know more than all other things put together. You must know this. It is important that you understand your level of resistance because what you are resisting is your alignment, your receiving of the perspective of that larger part of you who is here right now with you, focused upon whatever you're focused upon right here, right now, with you, no matter what the now is, no matter where the now is, no matter what the conditions of the now are, source energy, the source within you, that larger part of you, has a very clear awareness and opinion of whatever it is, wherever it is. And how you feel is your clear indication of how in sync you are with that perspective. For example, if you are really, really angry at someone and you feel that anger, that discouragement, that discomfort that can only be described by negative emotion, that means that you're off kilter from the perspective of your inner being about it. And when Esther began to realize that, she would say to us frequently, Abraham, clearly you need more information about this. Your opinion is distorted under these conditions. And we gradually, over a period of about 30 years, explained to her that we are unconditional in our love of that one, which in the beginning especially Esther found ridiculous. What's the point of having an opinion if you cannot notice the disturbing dysfunction of others? And we explained to Esther that that's not the relationship that she's really wanting to make her top priority. It's the relationship between her now perspective and the perspective of her inner being. Because the perspective of her inner being is long-term. It's eternal. It is widescreen. It is deep and broad. It has been happening for a long time, and it is accurate, and it considers everything. And most important of all, you'll hear a lot of this phrase, it is the path of least resistance, because you cannot get crossways of who you really are without blocking, pretty strong word, and we mean it, your reception to all that you've become. So when you're angry, or when you're depressed, or when you're discouraged, or when you're fearful, or any of those negative emotions in varying degrees, you are disallowing. It's like saying to the universe, I've decided to discount, to discard, to set aside all life experience. And we can't even begin to explain to you the life experience that you have gathered and the evolution that you have become. I've decided in this moment of very clear anger about this to disregard all that I've become and start over new in this moment. And that's why you feel insecure. That's why you feel vulnerable. That's why you feel fearful. Because you are disallowing the resources of source. You are disallowing the energy that creates worlds. You are disallowing your reception to that, which means you don't have good timing, you don't have clarity, you don't have good feeling words, you don't have good sounding words, you don't have good results from whatever it is you set into motion right here and now. In other words, you are disregarding all that you've become in order to justify your rightness in your opinion that clearly your inner being does not share. And the reason that you do it is because you've spent your whole life comparing your opinion to the opinions of others. How's that working out? Have you come to one political agreement? Have you come to one philosophical agreement? Have you come to a religious agreement? Have you come to a sexuality agreement? Have you come to the way you dress agreement? Have you come to any agreements? Have you gotten everybody to agree with you? Has anybody gotten everybody to agree? Why don't you give that up? That futile attempt, that flawed premise, that misguided effort to justify your goodness, your rightness, when all along you have source energy right there, not asking for justification, just knowing your value and knowing your power and knowing your goodness and knowing your rightness and knowing your worthiness and holding you in full view of that, rooting for your most delicious unfolding in this moment in time, which you are squandering with your determination to be right rather than in alignment. Ooh, that was good. You cannot be right unless you're in alignment. No other measurement, no other agreement, no other vote matters. Perhaps you will come to a full personal realization. It's not a revelation that we are asking you to reach for, because All of this is constantly being revealed to you. Source is revealing. It's knowing of where you stand in every moment in time in relationship to all that you want and all that you've become. The revelation is happening. The question is, are you in the receptive mode? So it's the realization that we want you to teach yourself to discover. The realization of the power, the perfection, the deliciousness of each moment in time. You're going to discover the freedom that only comes when you detach yourself from conditions, better said, from your opinion of the conditions, while you align yourself with your pure desire. And your pure desire, this is the most interesting thing about your desire. Your desire that you hold in many cases as future tense, we regard as present tense because it has already come into actualization in this vibrational place that we've been calling your vortex. This vibrational reality already exists. So it's not future tense, it's present tense, but you got to tune to it. You got to tune to the present tenseness of it in order to be in the realizing receptive mode so that you can experience the transformation of it from the vibrational reality into the see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it. How do I get my wealth out of this vibrational vortex, Abraham, and into my bank account? How do I turn that vibrational reality? How do I turn those vibrational dollars into tangible, physical, spendable dollars? And we say, you have to be in the receptive mode so that you can feel your way along your path of least resistance. And it is our promise to you that this veritable fortune, this vibrational currency that you have been accumulating, Esther cannot find words large enough, broad enough, deep enough, expansive enough to describe what you have already created. Once you've changed, once you've moved, once you've practiced, once you've accomplished that vibrational translation, and it is a belief that you hold, path of least resistance will lead you to the full, undeniable, we are not kidding you, transforming of that vibration into whatever it is that you want. Dollars, circumstance, event, relationship. And when you think about it, everything that you want because you think you will feel better in the having of it. So why not just, for a little while, decide to be unconditional? Don't need it to become a condition, an object, as something that somebody else can see and define. Don't ask for it to be something that you're not yet vibrationally ready for it to be. That's what makes you crazy. You are demanding of the universe and even of yourself. And those of you who have been listening to us are even putting more stress on yourself, demanding things to turn into realities, into that tangible reality, when you haven't done the work of practicing it into the vibrational place that puts you in the receptive mode so that you have good timing, so that you have good clarity, so that you have good resources, so that you are refueling yourself, so that you're in the right place at the right time. You're getting this, aren't you? We've said it to you in so many different ways over time. We've explained to you that you have to make peace with where you are. You have to find a way of allowing yourself to be all right with where you are. And you've heard people talk about unconditional love probably your whole life. People have been talking about it, but almost no one understands that what unconditional means is the condition isn't the main event, the emotion is. Because if you're going for the emotion, then you're nailing. Then you've got the vibration, the practiced vibration in place. Now you're believing it and now you're knowing it. And when you believe it and know it, when it has turned to determination and expectation, then everything in the universe must cooperate. Everything in the universe is cooperating. But you're a little wobbly in what you're putting out there as your receiving mode. And if you want to know what it is, just pay attention to what's happening in your life experience. Because your life experience will show you the degree to which you are vibrationally wobbling.